Hello YouTube, it's Darth Steve 333 here. After a long gap, everyone's currently housebound, obviously with the current health situation, so everyone's got a little bit more time on their hands, so thought it would be good a time as ever to upload a video for the first time in a very long time. Just to say hello. Hopefully everyone's doing well, everyone's keeping safe, keeping indoors, etc. And I thought I'd just go through some recent pickups, explain why I haven't been on for a while. Probably best to go into that first. Last couple of years have been quite difficult. We've been a one-wage household for a little while, so yeah, I've been having to pick and choose when I can spend money on games and so forth. That being said, I've still been doing the car boots and charity shops, albeit to a lesser degree, which sort of takes me on to the next bit really. Essentially, I've got a bit too much stuff, so basically I'm having to go through some of it, work out which bits I want to trade in, which bits I'm keeping. My problem is that I tend to sort of pick up consoles with a view to repairing them, and yeah, I do get round to some of them now and again, and others I sort of don't. So yeah, basically I'm just trying to go through things, but the result of that is that the place is a bit of a mess. I've got obviously very limited space to keep everything in. I want to try and drill down and sort of, you know, work a system where I can keep as much as I can, as playable as I can and accessible as I can, whilst not making the place look like a warehouse or someone's shed or loft. So yeah, anyway, the place has been a bit of a state recently, but obviously we've all got a bit more time on our hands now, so yeah, the aim is to crack on with that and sort of get things looking a bit more ship shape, and hopefully you know, maybe upload a few more videos. Probably not pickups videos, because what with this all being in, there ain't really going to be many of those pickup videos for a bit. But yeah, anyway, recently went to Revival, saw some familiar faces there, met some people, or said hello to some people for the first time. Saw Stu and Rob. Hi Rob, this is the long awaited video. The quality actually of the video, I must mention, is possibly going to be a bit lower than usual. I'm trying this out on like a little handheld camera that I got reasonably recently. The good thing about it is that I can actually see what you see. It's one of these like handy cam type things, so giving that a go. If the quality is rubbish, then I may revert to what I used to use, which is basically my mobile phone. But anyway, yeah, going back to Revival, great event. Took place just before this whole situation kicked off. Really good to see so many people there. Like I say, saw Tootie, Stu and Rob. Also said hello to Dana for the first time. I have seen him in passing once or twice at the car boot, and I am quite backwards in coming forward, so I sort of noticed him and I thought, alright, you know, I'll go in the other direction, because he's bound to have found stuff already. So yeah, anyway, had a good old chat with Dana on a couple of occasions. Really good to talk to. Nice to sort of say hello to another person I'll watch on the tubes, and also some other people that I saw there. Wish Wash, Lewis, said hello to you and had a bit of a chat. Again, nice to see someone that I watch regularly on YouTube, and also Glory Hunter, Scott. It's quite funny. I think the other guys will have talked about the chill out room, where you could go for a bit of a break from the event itself, and I sort of went in there, had a chat to Rob, and then just sort of loitered, pretty much sort of listening to what Lewis and Scott were talking about, and bless them, probably neither of them knew who on earth I was. This guy, so I was sat there watching them. Scott probably still doesn't know who I am, and you know, he might never do. But yeah, and nevertheless, it was good to see some guys that I watch regular on YouTube. Some other faces that I saw there. There was oh god, my memory's terrible. I'll come back to you. It's again someone else that Stu's introduced me to before, and oh god, and I'm subscribed to him. I'm going to be watching one of his videos a little later, so apologies if I remember when I'm editing this. Don't know how much I'm going to edit it, but if I remember during editing, I'll put your name up on the bottom here or something. And apologies for my memory being terrible. I'm very much out of practice with this video making, like. So anyway, onto the event. It was a great event. It was a real shame that Craig couldn't make it, although it might have been a blessing in disguise. You know, so many people mingling so soon before this whole situation health-wise cropped up. You know, if he's obviously got underlying health problems, so sort of made the possibility of contracting something from an event like that not something you want really. So anyway, probably as much as he wanted to be there and as much as he didn't want to be in hospital, could have been a good thing that he wasn't there, but you know, trying to look for silver linings for him. But it was a great event. Everyone else really stepped up to the plate. Although the event was smaller, there was still plenty to be getting on with. There was some good sellers there. There was some great machines there, some arcade machines. Excuse me. And yeah, a good time was had by all, I think. So anyway, going back to Dana, my first pickup was from his store, and this is a game that I've seen several people recommend. It's one I've always fancied trying, because I do like a bit of me computerized pinball as well as the actual real thing. It's Dragon's Fury. So yeah, it's cart only, and as you can see, it was a £5. So yeah, looking forward to having a go on that. Then I went to Sore Thumbs, and they had several sort of buckets, if you like, with what was it, £4 each or 3 for a tenner. So I picked up a little bundle down here, mainly to knock another one off the Dreamcast list. This was amongst them, and there was a couple of other Dreamcast games from other regions that I just thought, oh, well, it'd be nice to have those, even though I've I think got them each in PAL versions. So the one I was missing was Disney's Dinosaur. I do have this most definitely for PAL, Dead or Alive 2, but I believe this is the American version. And Cool Borders Burn, which I think was released over here as well, under a different name, and I'm trying to remember what the name of that is, and once again my memory is terrible. I think it's Snow Surfers. So yeah, anyway, that's the Japanese version, so I thought, yeah, why not. So I got that. Went back to Sore Thumbs a bit later in the day, having seen a copy of Turrican 2 big box version, and asked how much it was. Also asked what system it was, and I can't remember. It was a system that I didn't have, I think. So I was a bit disappointed, because I wouldn't have minded picking it up for the Amiga or the ST, but wasn't to be. But in mentioning that, he did say, well, there's a way you can get hold of a Turrican game for a bit cheaper here, as part of like a compilation pack. So I got the Power Up compilation. This was for the Amiga, I believe, yes. And it's got Altered Beast, Chase HQ, Cross Out, Rainbow Islands, and Turrican. Now, having played Turrican a lot during the day on a shall we say, slightly naughty copy. It's nice to actually have some form of it in original format after all these years. So maybe one day I will get Turrican 2 and Turrican 1 big boxes. Excuse me a moment. So yeah, what else did I get? I got this down here, which is a bit of a blast from the past. Way back in the dim and distant past, when I used to go around my uncle's on a Sunday afternoon sometimes with my parents when I was a kid, play on all the Spectrum games. He had one particular game by Beyond Software, and it was, I thought back then, fairly impenetrable. I can't say it. You couldn't get into it, but it was intriguing nevertheless. And I saw this. There was a guy selling a lot of old, I think it was mainly Spectrum, if not all Spectrum games. Yeah, I thought at £4, why not? It's Shadowfire, and as you might be able to see, it is actually both the Spectrum 48K and the Commodore 64 version on, or in the one box. The Spectrum on one side, the Commodore on the other. So yeah, I thought that would be nice. See if I can have another go at it after all these years and actually understand what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm very pleased to pick that up, and in very nice condition too. Don't worry, incidentally, the cough is a smoker's cough, and also me jabbering away. I forgot how much it takes out your voice. So anyway, yes, what else did I get? It was another seller. Apologies for the focus going there. Saw 3 games, 2 Dreamcast and 1 PlayStation game that I've been looking for a while. Asked him if he'd do a deal for me on them, and he did. He knocked I think a £5 off the entire cost. So first one is a Dreamcast game that I certainly had first time round. Without going into too much detail, I had a Dreamcast collection before, nowhere near as sort of complete as it is these days, but yeah, I had this in version 1 of the collection. Thought I still had it, checked my list, and I don't. So I'm picking this up. It's Magforce Racing. Another one, which is I think it was Rob was telling me, is getting harder to find these days. It's Donald Duck Quack Attack, which I do have for the PS2, but obviously I'm still going for the Dreamcast full set. Getting closer. Still got a few big hitters to go. If I do another video sometime soon, I'll tell you, or show you what games I've got in the last couple of years since I last uploaded. There's a couple of big ones that I've managed to tick off the list. The PS1 game that I got with that little bundle is Crusader No Remorse, and yeah, heard good things about that. Never played it back in the day, so I've been keeping my eye out for it, and yeah, he got it there. So I thought it'd be nice to get the 2 Dreamcast games and see if I could bundle that in and get it for a little less, and yeah, the guy obliged. So like I say, I can't remember the name of the stall unfortunately, but if you were there, it was the stall which had got the Mega Drive set with I think the very limited sleeve on it, that was really expensive. I understand they're very scarce, so no comment on the price in there, just it was a lot of money for a Mega Drive. Anyway, last couple of pickups from the event were from Vintage Gamer, and did I get these one by one? No, I got this first. I sort of happened upon a conversation involving this while I was browsing, and I spent a good while checking through everything, looking at things, and it's something I've wanted in one form or another for a very long time. It's an accessory for the Saturn. It's like an all-in-one card. So it's like an action replay sort of thing. So it'll allow me to play other region games, backups as well, and yeah, it's also got a memory card as well, 1 meg and 4 meg switchable. So yeah, really looking forward to using this, and it's nice to actually finally get one. I went back later. I'd been umming and ahhing about excuse me, smoker's cough again. Been umming and ahhing about upgrading one of my PS1 collection, because like many, I am not an enormous fan of the Platinum games. Would rather have Black Label, so I sort of did some mental arithmetic and thought to myself, right, well, I can probably get this upgrade to a Black Label and then get rid of my Platinum copy and not be too far out of pocket. So I got Spyro 2, Gateway to Glimmer, and also again another game that I never played back in the day but have heard good things. It is Cybernator for the Super Nintendo. So that was everything I got at the event, barring a big bundle of retro gamer magazines, because I've been trying to, or you know, I always keep my eye out for retro gamer mags, because I've got quite a large number of them now. I think I got odd ones here and there from sort of the very early days up until about the 80s, and then I started subscribing, and then I pretty much got the whole lot through then. So I managed to get quite a large number of copies that I didn't have. Also, because I couldn't remember and I didn't have a list with me of which ones I was missing, I got a big bundle of doubles that I brought back as well, because I thought, do I get them, don't I get them? As it is, the doubles will either go to my mate, and he enjoys reading them, so he can have them, or alternatively I might stick them on eBay for a quid or two each or something. But in carting that big pile of retro gamer mags out, one of the chaps that was helping at the event, a guy called Vinny, noticed I was carrying them, and he sort of approached me and said, hey, I've got a load of these at home, I'm looking to get rid of them anyway, I was going to bin them, if you're interested, you know, I can go through them and see if there's any that you need. So long story short, I'm taking him up on that offer. I've given him some money towards them and some money for postage, so they'll be arriving soonish, and then they'll make my collection nearly complete. I think probably be missing somewhere between about 6 and 12 altogether, and then yeah, I'm fully up to a complete collection then, which is good. I really enjoy the retro gamer magazines. There's always something interesting to read, if it's something I've got experience of that I can read and sort of reminisce about, or alternatively find out about games or systems that I've known nothing about previously. You know, it's always a good read, I think. Anyway, excuse me once again. Right, last couple of things. On the way to the Saturday at Revival, I did stop at the car boot, picked up a couple of PlayStation 1 games. Nothing particularly tremendous, but you find PlayStation games less and less these days. So this is one that I can't recall ever seeing. I've no idea what it's like. I've yet to stick it in the PlayStation. It's called Kubik's Robots for Everyone, and I do have this one already, but it's a much better condition copy than mine. It's Everybody's Golf, and they were like £1 or £1.50 each, which I couldn't grumble at. I think they're £1. So anyway, that's pretty much the pickups from Revival. And remember who it was that I saw there with Stu at Revival. So typically Cyber Snake J, who he introduced me to 2 or 3 revivals ago. Again, Jay probably doesn't know who I am or can't remember. I can't say I blame him. I do keep myself to myself quite a bit, and I sort of skulk around the outsides of things because of my, like I say, my tendency to be backwards and coming forwards. I am slowly coming out, Michelle. Probably by the time I'm about 90, I'll be there or thereabouts. But anyway, yes. So that's the pick up some of the event. And there's just a little bundle extra here that I'd got some CEX credit, and before the lockdown started, well, about a week or two before that, I decided to sort of pull the trigger on a couple of Dreamcast games, but also a couple of other things as well that I was interested in. So the two Dreamcast games that I've caught up on or added to the collection are Sonic Shuffle. Case is in need of a transplant there, but I do have some spare Dreamcast cases, and this one I was quite pleased to find, and it wasn't mint or anything, or described as mint. It was just boxed, but it's in pretty minty condition as far as I can make out. It's Tokyo Highway Challenge 2, so good to find that, because that's quite scarce, I think. Not one of the heavy hitters, but I would say mid-range, same as Sonic Shuffle really. And the other games that I got, this one I actually saw at Revival, and I was really close to pulling the trigger on, because I fancied playing this for a good while, but I couldn't quite bring myself to spend the money on it. Anyway, fast forward a few days later, saw it on CEX, boxed, not mint, for what I thought was a decent price. I think it was 28 quid or something, so it was significantly cheaper than I'd seen at the event, and it is Mega Drive Shooter Zero Wing, and quite happy with the condition of it. It's got the manual, the cart's in good nick, box is pretty decent, still got the hang tab. Not that you know, that's a deal breaker for me, but it's always nice to have it. So yeah, that was you know, a bit of CEX roulette, you know, in my favour, so pleasing. And the last couple of games that I got, again, this was sort of driven by something I'd seen on Facebook, on one of the selling groups. Someone was selling the whole set of these for quite a lot in the big scheme of things. I've got the first two anyway, but I have been looking out for 3 and 4 for a good while. I've only ever seen them at I was going to say events, generally Revival or one of the video game markets, and they always seem to be sort of way up there price wise. So I went on to CEX, and surprisingly they look to have come down a little bit. So effectively I got these with I think it was about 80 quid's worth of credit. So in real terms, given that I think I generally spend somewhere between about a quarter to a third of what the CEX credit is, this has cost me sort of 15 to 20 quid for the two games, which, you know, I don't think personally you can go wrong with. So without further ado, two PS2 games. You've got Dot Hack Part 3, Outbreak, and Dot Hack Part 4, Quarantine. So yeah, they complete that little collection, and I'm really pleased to sort of get them off the list. I was umming and ahhing about a couple of other games that I'd also seen on CEX, but I thought they're likely to go back up again at some point, so I thought, okay, yeah, I'll get them now. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I've got recently. I will be hopefully getting more videos up showing some of the other things I've got in the last couple of years or so. Maybe do a collection video or two or something like that, see if I can get back into the swing of uploading and so on. Apologies for the unkempt look. I thought, well, if we're all going to be in lockdown, I might as well start looking like Grizzly Adams or something, and seeing how much of a beard I can grow. Disturbing how much white there is in it. So anyway, I'm just jabbering on now, so I think the time has come for me to sign off for the time being. I won't promise to put anything up soon, but you know, I'll hopefully be able to upload something in the not too distant future. And thank you to Rob and to Dana for badgering me into getting a video up finally. I am very much out of practice, and my voice is about to go. I need another cup of tea. So for now, this is Darth Steve 333 signing off. Look after yourselves and stay safe, and hopefully speak to you all soon. Bye.